Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the International 2015 China Qualifiers. We're in the grand finals. Score is 2-1. Ehome, they made it look easy early, Sin. It was 2-0. Game 3, the panel, welcome guys, predicted it would be a 3-0 stomp. Yourself, well, not stomp, but 3-0 victory. Yourself included. Wasn't the case. So now we go to Game 4. We were talking about wanting to see CDEC mix things up again. We were speculating what's that going to be. Drow was floated as a possibility. That hero seems like it's one of the most high-priority bans across the two teams. So with that said, we do have a draft on our hands, and I guess we should go ahead and hop into it. But what are you guys thinking? Any other heroes that you have your eyes on?
I think we may see a Viper get picked up earlier this game. It's
Nope.
been second stage. Oh, okay. You know, I was saying that because the last two games it was second stage banned, and I was like, maybe it'll be like first two picked by someone because they want to make sure they get the Viper early on. But, well, Ehome thought there was going to be a Viper in the first stage.
This is interesting. Ehome take the Quap first, and they've generally been favoring the Gyro over this hero.
Yeah, even, I guess, well, when they've had first pick, they got the AA one game, but yeah, the Queen of Pain is
I think
not
they got Gyro one game and AA one game, and then they had second pick the other game, I believe.
So let's see it get with the Gyro. Did they take the Clockwork and prevent, do they like deny block pick the Clockwork, or do they get something like an Earthshaker here?
I think you pick Clock.
Yeah, because isn't it obvious for Ehome to go Clock then? I mean, they like it anyway for RTK, and it's really good against Shaker.
It's the way to... In all of this tournament, I have not seen an outstanding performance from ROTK on any other hero.
That's a good point.
I think. So even if it's not good against the Quap, you will always have a place for Clockwork in the strategy to make some sort of use for him. You just need to initiate. Even if he dies, he still sets up a nice fight for your Gyro. So the synergy between your own picks is good. The question is if they are scared that if they don't get, for example, the Bounty Hunter or whatever Chaos pick they want now, then Ehome are just going to ban it out in second phase. They're going to get Rubik.
Do Ehome take... So I think if they want Lifestealer, they have to take it now. But if they take it now, then there's so much room left to counterpick it. But they do really like the hero against the Gyrocopter. So if it somehow miraculously makes it through into the second round, I feel like it's a guaranteed pickup from that perspective. But the one big question for me is whether or not they consider taking it right here.
I think it reveals too much about their draft. I think it's a hero they would look to fourth pick if it's not banned out, but it just you reveal a Lifestealer Queen of Pain with your opening two picks. It gives CDEC too much room to draft around it and kind of plan their strategy around the Lifestealer.
They do have a good vehicle, though, so they can't... Like, CDEC won't benefit from banning out vehicles here.
And okay, I would know about Queen of Pain's like okay to me because you don't want to be blinking in to initiate as a Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
That's
It depends.
Yeah.
If you just BKB, sure, maybe.
Correct.
AA comes out. Ehome really love this support. It's been, and CDEC also know it. That's where they've been banning it. When they don't ban it, Ehome first pick it. This time they don't first pick it. I guess they didn't want to like the draft to kind of work itself out the same way as last time. Also, I do want to mention Bounty Hunter was not picked by CDEC, so it seems like they didn't want to just do the exact same thing and, then Ehome just counters it because they've already seen it once.
Yeah, and I feel like Ehome draft around the Ancient Apparition really nicely. We touched on it a little bit in the previous game, but I mean, even just to rattle off their lineup there, they had so much synergy for the Ice Vortex as the way to buff damage. But on the other hand, I feel like it does also commit their lineup a little bit. I look at this Ehome Ancient Apparition pickup, and I feel like we are going to be seeing at least one more fairly big magical damage dealer, and that's where CDEC can maybe plan ahead a little bit and start looking towards their Darkseer again, or someone who can pick up a relatively early pipe to help deal with it.
I mean, the go-to hero's also been the Shadow Fiend. We've seen that so many games at this point.
Yeah.
And it looks like the approach for CDEC is just, we counterpick Clock, and then we don't need to ban it. They have really good counterpicks for the lane.
Do Ehome, do you think they even want it at this point, seeing Rubik Gyro, or do they try to mix it up
I think
here?
they'd still consider it. They first two picked Clock with the AA when the pool was wide open to counter the two heroes. So I think they would definitely, they wouldn't be deterred by the Rubik Gyrocopter. I mean, maybe slightly deterred, but if they feel that's the hero that's going to suit their playstyle and ROTK best, they'll still pick it.
Yeah, I was about to say, what if CDEC just pick it now?
No, I think that's actually a much better option.
This is good.
He just owns AA, so that's already a decent matchup.
Yeah, I thought CDEC were considering leaving it up and then holding up the Disruptor as a potential extra, another hero to give Clockwork a really hard time, because that's the one thing that we've also been talking about, that we've seen this Clockwork be remarkably successful in the off lane almost no matter what, but I feel if you've got something like Gyrocopter, Rubik, Disruptor, you should be able to get a lot of kills on the clock and put on a lot of pressure, which should prevent him from getting that start that we've been seeing him have. But Ehome, the question is what they're going to move into from here, and it's a very open draft from their perspective, I think.
Does not seem like a good shaker game.
I think they'll go for the Darkseer as their offlane. It works well with the Queen of Pain, RotK. I think his other good games I've seen on have been on Darkseer. He's had at least one game I saw in the qualifiers where he did really well on Darkseer.
You know what Ehome could go for, actually, which we saw CDEC do? They'd have to figure out a way to lane it properly, but the Void goes really well with both of these heroes. Does sometimes struggle a bit to find his farm and levels early on.
Good synergy. It's not like as good as the earlier game where we said Void early today, where the lockdown was really needed. I think against heroes like Clock, Gyro, it's not like an issue of locking them in place because they're not that elusive, but great synergy with AA, Queen of Pain.
You need to be really careful with playing Void against Rubik in this game. The Chrono could get turned on your team, then they have cooldown. So
Void's like a potential 5th pick here if you're Ehome. I don't think you'd be considering a 3rd or 4th.
Don't get it.
Your 3rd and 4th pick to me is Darkseer plus your support. And Darkseer you can pick 4th because it's not going to be something CDEC have their mind on. Unless you just want to go get it over and done with and reconsider your support, but not sure what support they get with the AA. Maybe they go back. The Earthshaker not great against the Rubik.
Or the Clockwork. I don't think it's a good ES game at all.
Maybe you go for like the Lamb Lion here.
Braze?
Okay.
This is very much a curveball. I mean, we've been talking about not being able to keep Clockwork out of the lane. If any carry can do it, if they want to put the Razor safe lane, maybe he's the one.
I think they don't.
You think they put him mid?
I think they'll go aggressive trial lane against the Gyro.
Could do.
It's not an obvious...
Well,
it's a really interesting matchup because Gyro still deals a lot of damage even when he's sapped by Static Link. But if you do the right spacing as Razor, or you play around in the creep wave, it's just as much the intimidation factor that CDEC, if they're playing that lane try on try, they actually can't go into farm because AA with double ranged heroes plus the carry in the lane having long range with Razor, they could maybe just spam out the lane, actually.
And it is where the Clockwork is very weak. If Ehome choose to go aggressive, they can try and match up something like the Queen of Pain against the Clock. And as much as the hero's good, his 1v1 matchups in general aren't all that impressive. So I feel like that's something that CDEC do need to be conscious of.
Well, the thing CDEC did last game was they dodged and they went aggressive as well. So maybe we see them do the same thing.
It depends on how subtle Ehome are, I think, in terms of what they're looking for here in this trial. And well, CDEC just short things up even more.
This is an old school combo, the Clock Sky duo.
Good against the Queen of Pain, especially. I think this is looking like it could be a somewhat difficult co-op game, though you can always pick up a Yule Scepter as an early item, and it's pretty decent at dodging missiles and
the thing is, I feel like we haven't seen anyone actually try to even put any pressure on Queen of Pain picks at all in the laning state. They always let the hero farm. This is one of the very few supports that can potentially set up early kills on her.
Yeah.
They don't. The rest of them not so great. Rubik's okay, but we'll see.
Mid in general is so hard to gank these days. The offlaners are getting better and better and better at just scouting out the opposing supports, and mid lane players, I feel, also play much more conservatively when the supports are off the map because most of the time you can just go and do something else. You can stack a jungle camp for yourself.
Get the
you
other
can clear
room.
a medium camp. Yeah, run all the way to the other side of the map. But both teams...
I still think Void is a great pick here for Ehome.
Yeah, well, you've got the Witch Doctor as well now.
It got a lot better now.
Yeah.
At least.
But...
I mean, what else could they... ROTK heroes, there's Batrider jumps out still, even though I don't think they have the best synergy, is just always a decent hero. They don't have a counter to the last one.
It's an awful Tide game. It's a totally awful Tide Hunter game. You don't want to play it against Clockwork, and I don't think you want to play it against Rubik.
I got to say that hasn't stopped RTK in the
but
past.
Yeah, that's true.
And they banned it anyway.
They banned it anyway. Well, there you go. So still going to get a little bit of respect there. So what else? They do have the benefit of last pick, so they can at least get a little bit of information out of CDEC before they go for it. In terms of what they ban, I guess we're just looking towards stuff that Cheeky's been playing thus far, since it's definitely an aggressive gyrocopter. The Storm Spirit is... They can't deal with the Storm Spirit, I think, is the one thing. So
they just have Orchid, maybe.
Yeah, and even then, I think the Queen of Pain's going to be forced into probably first item Yule Scepter or something like an Ags into a BKB this game to help deal with the Skywrath Mage. So there might not be room, or there might not be time to pick up an Orchid. So I think that's a pretty heads-up ban from Ehome, realizing some of the weaknesses of their lineup here.
David, what do you want to see out of these last two picks? Well, I guess mainly Ehome because CDEC is about
You have
to
7 seconds for CDEC.
For CDEC mid or who? Invoker, that's what I want to see.
Oh, nice.
Great.
What do you want to see for Ehome? I'll ask you in 30 seconds.
I think Dark's here. I still think Dark's here for Ehome. It's like
Do you think it's good here?
gives them. They need some team fight. Right now, their team fight's just the Sonic Wave. They have no setup. They have no control. Maybe they need something with more reliable lockdown, even like a Centaur type. But
Centaur could actually be really interesting.
Is
I still
Axe
think
playable here?
LD's Void suggestion, I'm still a big fan of. But it does force them into a different position, or they need to play Void 1-on-1 against Clock.
It's a really tough Centaur game, though. There's so many ways to mess up his combo. Like Cogs, you've got the instant lift, the instant silence.
and Dark's here.
Axe.
Oh, it is Axe. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
I would just ask, is this a playable Axe game? It's really good against Invoker, to my mind. I think Axe is one of the heroes that gives Invoker the hardest time, because even if you're playing Quas-Wex, which I think is more likely this game, it can take you a little while to get up to your Force Staff, and that's where it can be tough to get away from Axe if he engages on you.
Axe seems like a little more of like an RTK hero as well,
Yeah.
at least as of late, what he's like to play. Well, it's a hero that can go to the jungle. That's the big difference from a Void or even a Centaur. They don't have that option. So now they kind of guarantee their initiator will get
I
something.
think he's 1-on-1 against Clock, because he actually wins that lane. He's one of the few melees that can beat Clock in a heads-up battle.
It is a Rubik Scarlet support duo, though. So if you're going aggro trial, and you've got a lot of damage output and kill potential coming out from CDEC, so it's a bit risky.
It's let's see. So if their lane is Rubik, Sky, Gyro against AA, Razor, Witch Doctor, then you're playing triple range support with Chilling Touch into Gyro.
And they're all 600.
Yeah, and Gyro's range is an issue there. So
I don't know. It really comes down to, I think if CDEC kill in that lane, it's because they get a telekinesis with no creeps in the neighborhood, and they can kill with.
Whereas
rocket bounce.
Ehome
There's
can
no
kill
other.
anytime they get a good cask bounce and some auto attacks, basically.
Cask bounce, or they might not even need a cask bounce. They could actually maybe set up a kill with a level 2A, just Ice Vortex and just a couple of attacks.
Well,
really.
we said 3-0 last game, guys. Didn't happen. Is this 3-1 or are we going the distance?
3-1.
I think it's a pretty even draft, actually.
Even drop at 3-1.
Base kit?
You know what? Just to mix things up, I'm going to back CDEC here, but I'm not sure. I feel like this is pretty even for.
You're
for
going to
this game.
flip-flop? You're saying 2-2?
Yeah, I'm going to flip-flop. Why not?
All right, we got a flip-flopper, Cinder, and with that, we're going to take the reins here.
I ain't about the flip-flop.
Are you a flip-flopper?
I ain't about the flip-flopping.
All right.
I said 3-1 going into the series, so my prediction holds true.
but
Even though
then
I
you
did
said that you flip-flopped to a 3-0, and now
doesn't-
you're flopping back.
that's not a flip-flop. That's like a.
That's like a what? A pit stop?
It's like I have no idea how to describe.
You're
what
a
that is.
fraud.
All right.
Don't even try.
What did you say going into the series?
You guys didn't ask me what I thought?
All right.
I'm the host.
What did you think?
I thought it would be
3-0.
either 3-0 or 3-1.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone said. So
Well,
which
but
one?
definitely not 3-2 and definitely not CDEC.
Okay,
So that was.
fair enough.
If I had to pick one, I probably would have said 3-1 just because 3-0s are fairly unusual, I
Yeah,
feel like, in
I agree.
BO5s. But anyway, we're underway now, Sin, so let's see what we got brewing here. DDC is going mid at first just to help with the creep block. They send the Axe to the off lane. Looks like CTY is going to take over mid, so RTK will be on a bit of an island. And there are no wards down or anything like that, so I actually have a reasonably easy time in the jungle early on.
I really think this is advantage CDEC from the start, that the lanes get put this way. It's possible that Ehome thought they were going to aggressive again to try to dodge, and that this time they wanted to
You think it's advantage
one-up
CDEC?
them by putting the obvious lanes. Yeah, because Axe is going to have a really hard time against this lane. They have a lot of magic damage. That's what bullies Axe out of lane. If Skywrath rotates up there, he actually pretty much can't stand in the lane. And then bottom, Clockwork is against a Razor AA. He's gonna get something here.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a lot.
Unless he cogs himself in with the Razor, he's probably not dying.
And the thing for me is, if Ehome would have put the aggressive trial in the X safe lane, I think they could have won all 3 lanes. And now they are winning, on paper, probably winning mid in the start, co-op against Invoker, as well as, I think, CTY being the stronger lane player. And then bottom, they're winning. They're obviously winning that tri lane, as they should. So they're winning 2 out of 3 lanes. One of them marginally. The bottom should be won pretty hard, but not as hard as the Axe will lose top, in my opinion. So it's even this way instead of a Ehome advantage.
It's like Witch Doctor wants to try to do something on mid. Is he smoked? Oh, he is smoked. Lanham. Pretty aggressive early, and they find him with the cask. Shiki, he's got nothing but cold snap here, saying this could easily be the first blood. One more auto attack. They get it. CTY. Well, there's your X factor. They don't go for the potential lane dominance. They just rely on good old Lanham to make plays around the map, and as usual, he delivers.
And you talked about it going into the series. No one puts pressure on Quap in this qualifier. This time, they even help her out, so now they're going to need it even more.
I was like, where are you going with this? Oh, okay. For Q. Oh, if they find the... I don't think he's level 2, actually. Oh, there's the lift. Trying to chase out CTY. That is not happening. But cheeky play. If he doesn't get that haste rune, then that's going the other way. It's actually level 2, so could have gotten the call if he misstepped on the Rubik, but not the case.
And now RotK will jungle a bit. This offlane for him is not accessible anymore. They have the equilibrium where they want it. It's an awful lane to begin with for an Axe. That was the recovery plan that we talked about. At least this pick can just go into the jungle if it wants. And he will, unfortunately for him, find... I'm not sure after the nerf if this is the worst camp for Axe, but it's definitely one of the two worst. It's either this one or the Wild Wing camp. They both really suck.
Yeah, the Dark Trolls are amazing.
Yeah, they're the best camp. And then after that, the Satyrs are pretty good because there's 3 creeps and you can just pull them out and kill the big and the medium with using the small creep to buffer you up a little bit.
Yeah, let those skeletons go to work on you. All right, well, as far as the lanes go, now that we settled into them, seems Gyro's having a field day, as well he should. There's nobody in the lane. Razor keeping the clock down somewhat, but I mean, he's got 7 CS and he's level 3. He's getting quite a bit here. Like you said, it's not a strong enough dual lane to kill him. They don't have any way to deal with the cogs, like say a Rubik lift, and all he does is just keep on pulling the waves back.
Did RotK manage to double that camp below him? What did he find? Oh,
the dream!
That's unfortunate,
for
RotK. He can't do that camp. Not yet. He's going to stack it again. He will need to have full health and tranquils, I think, to do this camp. If it's another stack of Hellbears now, that is... Oh my god!
Are you trying to jinx him?
That is like the worst RNG. I like playing X quite a lot, and I feel like I feel like a lot of the time when I stream and I play X, I'm like, I always get these shit camps. I never get the good troll warlords or anything in the beginning, but that is just like the worst luck. And it's in a really important official game. I really feel for RotK here. That's super unfortunate.
Yeah, and they don't really have anyone who can help him clear these. He's just going to have to suffer a bit. And instead, looks like he's journeying around back to the well. He'll come back out and try to clear that thing out. The Witch Doctor of Lanham also hanging out near the topper. Maybe we'll try for another play on mid.
I'd like to see RotK try this camp.
At
If he thinks he's going to manage, or if he tries to stack it again and then get help from the Quap. I think this stack is successful. Looks pretty good. So he's got a quad now down there. Centaurs. All right. That is the worst camp after the Hellbears and Wild Wings. So
close to the worst possible.
At least he didn't get Wild Wings again. Yeah. But
yeah. Centaur's here as well. It's just not been the dream scenario.
This is ridiculous. You know, the thing is, if he got good camps, what level is he? He's like level 2 now, right? If he had some luck with camps, he would be level 4.5.
Yeah.
That is Axe jungle for you. There really is an element of luck. If you have the perfect rotation and you jungle from the start and say the Dire, you can actually be level 6 minute 430.
In good news, he now finds the Dark Troll Warlord, and that's a freebie. And there's really, I mean, maybe the clock happens to rock in him, but barring some horrible RNG there.
And I think he made a mistake not checking this camp earlier. He was really stubborn about the left one, and either he should check it or have a support check it, because this is obviously his plan B when the other camp isn't accessible.
And he's just going for more stacks around the woods, and meanwhile, CDEC are looking for their smoke gank. They want to pressure the Queen of Pain.
He's definitely doing the stacking well, so that's good for his recovery. Satyrs, that's a really good camp.
Yeah, that's a freebie. Near the top rune, looks like that skirmish could break out. They want the lift. The tornado comes out. Now the EMP. They get the lift, and finally, we might see a Queen of Pain die early in the game.
Oh, they missed!
Uphill miss! No, I jinxed it. I am so sorry, CDEC. Don't kill me.
Wow. Well, I guess the
base kip is giving me the throat cut.
I guess
threat.
RotK took all of his luck and then he transferred it into CTY. That must be what happened. There is no other way. Okay, RTK level 3. He's going to be moving into the jungle now. If he does manage, I think he can clear the camp now.
He's got the tranquil boots now, I believe.
It's
so.
very close. He actually, I think he can't drop them if he's going to solo
this. He needs
this.
the armor, I believe.
Yes. So Witch Doctor,
Maybe you just want to let Quap just scream it once to be safe. But
yeah.
Okay, he's not going for it.
Might
He'll come back for it later. 5. So yeah, uphill miss. And then bottled up in between the auto attack.
It's also a great play from CTY. Like he times the bottling well. So credit where it's due, but still an element of luck. Uh-oh.
Thank you, Clockwork.
X doesn't know this,
yeah,
though.
of course.
If CDEC make a really good smoke play now, they might be able to find RTK down there, kill him, and steal the stack. And then he's out of the game. That's actually really vital information. That I just don't know if they can use it.
It's really hard to...
Oh, he just steals. He keeps going.
Oh, God.
He maxed Rocket, so this is a level 3 Rocket right now.
I think they've seen at least one of these rockets fly. It looks like they were in the path of the rocket flight, but RTK is also really low. Oh, no. He's got to go back.
And here's what's unfortunate.
Jesus.
RTK did not get a Satyr camp there, because else that aura would have probably kept the creeps alive for a bit longer at least. But he got an awful camp, so he couldn't farm it, and now he's getting unlucky again because of that. Oh, Invoker. Tornado, he is screwed. Oh, all right.
Well, we got him, boys.
Mega dead.
That's when it's not good enough just to kill someone. You have to just beat them into the next game, basically.
He's going to keep rocketing. Oh, my God. When RTK
So how much? He's
out.
stolen. Oh, God.
He's
and he's going top now. He's going to lose this entire stack.
Oh. It's like you can't even script this. Like that's how unlucky it is. It's reminding me of your last Mafia game last night where like everything went wrong for Town. Absolutely everything.
Don't remind me.
Oh, God.
Well, it's okay. We'll redeem ourselves tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Next time, save yourself.
Yeah. True story.
Next time, I'll try not to assume Hophead's Mafia just because he's a shady fella.
Now, this is maybe good, too. I know I'm focusing a lot on this jungle, but there isn't too much going on right now apart from... Yeah, okay, that's what's going on. He goes to top...
You actually can't script this. His entire stack gets stolen. He's now dies top.
And the worst thing is,
he got unlucky with the creeps multiple times.
You know what? This is what he's thinking right now. Oh, screw it. I thought I could go top.
I'm gonna go back to the jungle.
I'm at least gonna go take my camp now.
The good news is the rest of the team's mostly carrying their weight here. They get the Clockwork kill, but I mean, is it good enough?
The Axe is definitely out of the game for a bit.
He could have his blink like what, 14-ish minutes.
If they have, do they still have some other camps stacked? Because they really need to do that for him. He's gonna ping. Oh my God, he's like, how could this possibly happen?
That's a lot of rockets too to kill that thing.
That easily worth it though.
Oh
like
yeah,
the actual gold swing in that is.
It's more he looks at that and he's like, how long has this guy been working on this thing? It's been like 5 minutes.
Ultimately, he's at fault himself, because he could have farmed it way earlier, and there would have been no risk. Either he could have done it just with a little bit of help from Witch Doctor, just healing him for a second. I think Witch Doctor did have Voodoo Restoration at the time. Or he could have got literally one Scream from Quap. And
then just easily cleared it.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure what he was waiting for. He couldn't have stacked it again anyway.
Oh, don't tell me he's going to die to this gyro. That would just be the ultimate pain. But no, it looks like there's 4 heroes in the neighborhood, so we'll be okay for now.
And poor RTK, man. It's not like he's even played it poorly. He's just been super unlucky this game.
Yeah, I mean, like you point out, he didn't miss any of his stacks.
He got his stacks right. He got bad RNG with them.
The only thing he could have done was, like you mentioned, check the Dark Troll Warlord camp sooner.
Oh, he's at least getting a little bit of good karma here.
It's one of those things where as soon as he gets a blink, though, it does completely change this game because they
Wait, never mind. That's bad karma. Oh, wait. Oh, he's aware of this.
They had a ward. Yeah, so they saw this.
Okay, let's look at what's going on elsewhere. We've talked a lot about this. So Gyro is looking really, really good with ADC.
DDC getting gone on top lane, lifted, drop back down, and Clockwork's waiting. DDC going back to the well. That's not good news for Ehome. He's trying to find his level 6. It'll be delayed.
What's the status?
And
Oh, he's trying
aggressive.
again.
Oh, you cheeky bugger.
He's waiting for RTK to go to the rightmost
next
camp, but he
camp.
doesn't want to do that. This is a good play once
Well,
again.
he saw him.
He
off
saw
in
him
the
move in
woods.
earlier because of the ward. So, Gyro ADCS, Invoker 42 against the 52 of Queen. So, as expected, CTY winning mid lane, but not by a lot. Mainly the ganks have won him the lane, not his mechanics as much as the rotations. Witch Doctor is level 4. AA is level almost 6. That's really good news for Ehome. I guess he took quite a bit of experience up there before he got ganked for the Dire. Rubik level 5. Skywrath level 7. That is really good levels for him.
Call down, trying to find ZYF here, but he'll deny the rune and just skate away. Do you see Invoker going into an urn here? Not rushing anything bigger. Probably see the... I mean, well, normally it's the Orchid that comes out next.
Force either.
Yeah.
Orchid or Force.
I think Orchid's pretty
Hook
good.
shot.
Oh, there's the hook to start. Now they're pulling back in with the cogs. Mystic Flare is waiting. Another kill. The Skywrath Mage really working out so far. Tries for the TP out and doesn't make it in the end. They bring him down. Now they look for XZ. That's going to be an Ice Blast on the mark. They get 2. They do lose their Witch Doctor. And as for the tower, was it denied? I don't think so.
Negative. Skywrath got it.
Okay.
He should be getting pretty rich.
Yeah, he was already level 7 before that.
He has the same net worth as the Clockwork on their team.
We haven't talked at all about Razor and our obsession with ROTK.
It's just...
But he does have a
that
mech.
story was just like...
Yeah, it was a sad tale. He does have a completed mech now.
Yep.
Really shores up their team fight. And now RTK is going to get... He's going to finally get close to his blink here, it looks like. 1,800 gold or so. Or probably looking at like a 15-minute mech, or blink at this point. Maybe 16 at the latest.
He was 400 away, you said? It was 2.5 camp. Yeah, 1430 he should get it.
Yeah.
If he does the jungle correctly now and if he doesn't get ganked out by Gyro. He might still be scared of going to the rightmost camp, so I guess it's going to delay a little bit. But oh, mid lane, nice Tornado EMP.
Just annoying more than anything else.
Avoid it. That is so good against Mech Razor. It's unbelievable.
He really doesn't have the best mana pool.
I feel like he's one of the heroes that got hit the hardest by the mech nerf. The original one that increased the mana cost by 75. He was one of the very picked mech carriers and doesn't really have the pool for it. And then mech got nerfed even more with the cooldown. But that isn't preventing other heroes.
And then on top of that, a lot of the heroes he excelled against just aren't being picked. Like, dude, I mean, potentially, like, a lot of the melee carries are out of style. It's all about, like, Queen of Pain right now. Shadow Fiend and
Gyro.
And even if you win in the lane against these heroes, you're rarely killing them. They just go back to the jungle, farm their stacks, and they're ahead of you at the 15-minute mark anyway. Well, still waiting for this RTK blink, and he finally has it, and it really feels like this is the one item that, from either team that can truly shift the game. It can either blow things open for Ehome, or if it backfires and CDEC counterplay it properly, it could really put them in a very defensive posture. And now that they have that blink, they are starting to move into position. They walk their supports up to the high ground. RTK swings in from the north. The whole gang's going to reconvene here mid. Look for the tier 1, but aggressive. Already doing a split push thing bottom. He's picked up his Ogre Club. BKB will be next on the list, it looks like. I mean, maybe Sanjiyasha, but probably not. And they're going to take this tower. Seems CDEC will not defend. That's a pretty big tower takedown.
Yeah, it's an even trade, I would say. The maybe slightly favoring Dire because they get more access to the Radiant jungle, where Axe will inevitably need to farm some more. And they're already pretty deep in there with wards, and maybe they can keep up that coverage. Rotation top from Ehome. Not really going to find anything by the looks of it.
It looks like they kind of want to just 5-man with this mech Blink Dagger, but I'm not sure if CDEC's going to allow it. They're split pushing the bottom lane. They start to press in on mid. They've gotten great wards up during this time as well. And if anybody comes home to defend, they're getting hooked, tornadoed, mystic flared, and just blown the hell up.
Yeah, this is a good play.
Continue to push in. They're going to show aggressive. At this point, it's pretty clear that their whole team is going to mid. And it looks like Ehome actually want to come back. They're coming from a decent angle here. A, up on the high ground. Oh, if he walks down that cliff. Oh, boy. That would be devastating. Send a smoked Witch Doctor down first, but it did spot the AI. I don't think the smoke was affecting him. And CDEC are going to start to retreat out. Axe is smoked as well, though. He's also getting close. ROTK wants this jump forward. Smoke's going to break. Does he find the opening? No. Concussive shot and silence. Well, press him back. And now it's the Razor trying to do a bit of split pushing top lane. Doesn't get the tower, though. Forces out the glyph. Gyro off on bottom still. Both teams just dancing around the map and nobody really committing to anything. I'll back off now. It's a CDEC turn to smoke. All right, let's see if they can find CTY. Hook shot into silence. That'll be a kill. They got to time it just right, and it's too late. Also, Send. Change up in the build here for Queen of Pain. It's an X Rush. No Orchid, no BKB. It's more about the big AoE combo, it looks like.
Yeah, what's the real progress for Ehome as far as, let's look at mid-late game? The Razor generally doesn't scale super well later on compared to a lot of other cores. Quap, we've seen it win games super late game, either by going the refresher build or by going physical damage. I think the advantage Ehome has is that I want to say in most cases, Axe provides more utility in a very late game situation than Clock does, just because he has a BKB piercing AoE ability. That is really, really good for controlling late game. So if this stalemate, if you will, continues, I do think Ehome have a pretty good shot in the late game, but they can't allow Gyro to get too far ahead. He's starting to build a pretty significant gap down to the Razor. Almost with a BKB, Drum, and Aquila, minute 17.
Do see XZ, RTK wants to go, and he's going to go for Garter instead. They waste no time in getting off the Scream. Garter doesn't actually die to this, though. He gets debuffed by the Ice Splash. Should be enough to tick him down.
Not the kill they were hoping for, I guess, but...
Yeah, it's a 5-hero smoke, but at the same time, CDEC were not farming. They all back to the base, so very slight advantage maybe for Ehome. Guess it depends on how much they're going to need their smokes later on.
Yeah. Well, they do get access to the enemy jungle, so they get a little bit there for...
Got a decent ward down as well.
Got some vision.
Actually, 2.
And top tower being pinged by A. So DDC wants to go push top. They do have all their abilities ready. Is Witch Doctor still level 5? Wow. That is really, really unusual for Lanham.
Yeah, I guess they've looked at the draft and felt like that the Witch Doctor has to take a back seat to the A because they have this Axe Initiator. It's not really that easy to go for like your Blink Call Death Ward. But the Ice Blast, you can just fire it from anywhere. Let's start working on the tower.
There goes the tower. Yeah, they can't get back to defend this in time. The trade-off is going to be they push out mid lane a bit. They have pressure on bottom. They're inside the enemy jungle. They will force a rotation with this. Question is if Clock can find any opening.
Do you think CDEC want to fight now? They just... Oh, Hookshot comes in. Of course they do. They find RTK off the bat. Ice Blast going to come to try and counter this one. It will connect on XZ. Looks like RTK is going to go down. Death Ward. No, maybe not. He barely survives. Now the TP out from Q. We'll make it home. Nice turn there by Ehome.
What?
He's a beefy one.
I guess they just thought Clock had that.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like he did, to be fair. But only level 2 in Battery Assault with 4 in Rocket.
Hey, I feel like it paid for itself already with the damage to the stack. Well, not even the damage. They're just totally stolen.
See, they get the Tornado and Cold Snap. And now Invoker's going to run because of this TP from Razor. Really good stick usage from RTK is going to keep him alive as well. And yeah, they were basically missing one attack for that kill.
Unfortunate.
7-3. Are they... Considering it's 7-3, you don't get the feeling that Ehome are leading that much.
No, and this Gyro does continue to farm up a Storm. But, like you said, if it's just one farmed carry against an Axe, I don't know that that's going to cut it. Just because if he ever gets a Blink Call, they have Death Ward to pierce BKB, Razor to steal his damage, Ice Blast to prevent him from healing up, Queen of Pain, who is a pure damage ultimate as well. And they don't have a great defensive support, unless, like, I don't know, Rubik steals Call and goes and calls the enemy heroes or something. So that is where I feel like they need multiple farm cores as the game moves along. That's my one big worry for CDEC. Or they just have to consistently get the jump, like every fight. Man, Sin, they just can't find kills. We're 21 minutes in. 10 kills, and a lot of them just in the first couple minutes.
Yeah, it's difficult for CDEC to get aggressive out on the map when they're... I guess they're just scared of the lack of information more than anything. Ehome have counter-warded their own jungle now. I think CDEC know where the entirety of Ehome is, but they don't want to go in from the fog. So they're just playing it safe. They're playing on the stack farming, on the fact that their Gyro is doing great, and that they probably think their game plan is good enough, which it might well be. I think this game is really, really difficult to call. There's, like you said, Axe against a single physical core mid-late game is really good, but we still don't know what path Invoker's going to take later on as far as itemization goes. Yeah. Of course, when he gets really high level and goes into Exort, he can become very, very scary.
Yeah, there was the big change to Deafening Blast to level 25, which I saw Black got to show off in the America qualifier for Mouse.
Nice.
It was pretty devastating, actually, having... It's basically like a mini Ravage.
Yeah. It is really, really good.
I mean, actually getting to 25 is tough, though. Like, that will be a long time before we see. He's only 11.
And is also, who got that idea? Like, how do you get an idea like that?
Ice Frog things.
I have unlocked my full potential, and then
I think
it affects one spell.
Yeah. I think it's pretty
Stack
cool.
fan.
It's almost like getting like an Aghanim Scepter upgrade for a spell, except
Yeah.
for Invoker, it's just the levels. Well, we always say experience is important for the hero. I guess that's one more vector in which it is.
He did, however, not go Midas this game, so it's going to take him a long time to get
I'm
there.
pretty sure Blackwood might just that game. He normally plays more of like a carry type of Invoker.
Yeah.
Well, things are just all about farming now and efficiency, it looks like, for both teams, focusing on Ancients for aggressive. See Ehome hanging back. We haven't seen a whole lot of aggression, just occasional smokes, but if they don't find an easy pick, they back and just farm. So I guess looking down the road, Sind, Ehome appear to be going for, is that mass BKBs? I see at least 3 or 4 Ogre Clubs on the Ehome side. 1,
2.
2. So, oh, that
At
was
least 3 or 4.
Staff of Wizardry. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's a fair point. So they won a couple of BKBs, though, it looks like.
Yeah. And it's also the item against the Dire. Only Flak Cannon is really a problem for them to deal with when they're in Magic Community. And if you look over at CDEC side, also understandable. They get BKBs. It's the way they avoid getting completely blown up by Ice Blast, Plasma Field, and the Quap Scream. However, their BKBs are definitely weaker than Ehome's are. There's still Berserker's Call, there's still Death Ward, there's still Sonic Wave. And of course, there's still Static Link, where if Razor can get in on
We're
Gyro,
about to have a fight. Here we go.
problem.
Hulk onto DDC. Finds him immediately. That means Ice Blast comes out. It actually, I think, hit one hero there, but it's not looking like it's good enough. Call down coming through. They get a great initiation, and now they look to turn this into a convincing victory. RTK run down. TP out attempted. Is there a stun? You bet. Oh, no, actually, they don't have it in time, but they do manage to get the 4th hero. Lone Survivor, the Razor. Ehome getting wiped apart. Just took one good smoke and an excellent initiation by the clock.
This is like last game, where CDEC, the game stalls out for a bit. They obviously have a different game plan and a very different draft. In that game, they also did one smoke that got them like 4 or 5 kills. And all of a sudden, they really took off. Wow, look at that damage done. That's ridiculous. 3.5. He did more damage than his teammates combined. What the hell?
It's a call down on pretty much everyone, I guess. So
He got a full flat cannon in like 4 or
That's
5 heroes,
true.
too. That was really, really good from Aggressive.
they got a tower after that. They get a lot of extra map control. Now the Orchid comes out for the Invoker. Looked like Clock was building towards his Ags or potentially BKB. Gets the Ogre Club.
So you're going to see here, they hookshot in and find the AA immediately, who obviously has to panic ult. And it doesn't really hit anyone. And the Skywrath gets the silence and Quap exactly like they need there. The Tornado for them, kind of fortunately, actually misses. I think that might have given Quap a chance at living. And they run down RTK afterwards. The moment they get the silence on Quap, that fight's lost. She has not built a defensive item.
Yeah, that's
We're
where
talking
she
about
really
the Yules.
does need the BKB.
BKB or Yules was the I believe God suggested the Yules in the pregame as a way of dealing with Skywrath, or maybe it was Base Kit. But regardless, it is definitely one of the ways they could deal with it.
Yeah, you don't see those silence-based supports anymore. So it's
Yeah.
you know, with that, like, there's very few situations where you'd want to Yules, maybe against Ember, but
I feel like CTY is very one-dimensional when it comes to item builds. I feel like he builds the same items on every hero every time, regardless of what he's up against, what his strengths and the enemy's weaknesses or their strengths are.
Oh.
Last game, I thought he should have gone Orchid. He went Bloodstone. As I feel like he did almost every Storm game. This time, he goes for the Axe on Quap.
Oh, they're going
a
to
game
find
where I
someone
don't
here.
know.
The Razor's about to get caught out.
Oh,
Does he have the
no.
BKB? He does, but he gets lifted off the bat, blown up almost instantly from full to 0. Quap ult's there, but they needed that Razor. They needed a better call out. It's going to be a second massacre. The great Ehome genocide completed once more.
Oh, nice NATO, too.
And they find one additional kill. It's a team wipe. CDEC. 9 unanswered kills.
Oh, they got a Rubik.
Well, barely.
Yeah, again, the damage done. Wow.
Painful, man.
Man, they must have gained like 7,500 gold in a moment. It's like,
That was almost exactly on the mark.
Jesus, that's insane. So Axe Blink Call only finds the he found Skywrath too. This AA Blast again, complete whiff.
This happened in the last game. DDC has been missing a lot of Ice Blast today.
And I want to say that is a very questionable way for Ehome to engage into that. Ehome were the team that was smoked, right? From
Yeah,
above.
but they wrapped like 4 around
So-
to the top side of the river. Razor was just running across their
Yeah.
side of the river. They were very disorganized in that play.
If he was together with the team there, that doesn't happen. Maybe it's also just a bit fortunate for CDEC, but I think they actually had a ward scouting it out earlier. They might not have even. No, maybe not. That's a Radiant ward. So it's possible they just were in the right place at the right time when Ehome tried to smoke. But it's a risky play running the Razor spread from them like that, and they, you know, they could have let Razor die. And been like, okay, this fight is it got picked off. That sucks. Cut our losses. Then they had the help a friend syndrome, which is very common. And
Great way to lose your pubs.
yeah. I mean, they might have expected that Razor would be able to BKB mech, and then all of a sudden that could have
If
been a
he
fight.
pops I mean, it's a Rubik lifting out of smoke. It's very difficult. But if somehow he gets off the BKB there, obviously that's a completely
even after he was opened on, if they don't blow him up instantly and he gets some sort of counterplay, first of all, he forces CDEC to commit a bit more onto him, and that opens up space for the other heroes, and secondly, maybe he deals some damage.
Well, Sin, they have an Aegis now, a very stacked gyro. How far do you think they can push this? Is this going to be the Aegis that allows them to threaten high ground, or are they just going to starve Ehome with this one? What are your expectations?
I think they'll take all outer towers.
Okay, so there's 2 remaining.
There's 2 remaining. That seems reasonable. Get Gyro another big item before you high ground. 'cause
XC,
at this point,
Rocket.
you're controlling very well.
Well, Invoker also with the Ogre Club, so it looks like it'll be potentially another BKB. A lot of heroes trying to build them this game. Plasma
I don't
Field.
know if Invoker should get one this game.
What else could it be?
Well, he probably is. I just
Yeah.
don't know if I agree. He could go for an Ags, but I feel
I
that's
don't-
not
it's
so
not
good
really
on
a-
Crosswax.
Halberd is not the item here.
No, definitely not. It has to be a BKB. It's just when you look at the Radiant and... Oh, all right.
Every that was just 10-second, wasn't it?
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just really excited that he had a BKB. I wanted to make sure it worked. Sometimes you get defective ones from the factory.
This
you know?
is my first time playing Dota. What does this actually do?
Ooh, I'm all golden shiny.
Do I earn more money then? Oh,
There's a
that
blink
is-
call, but that is an
he is the
Aegis
Aegis
carrying
carrier.
Gyrocopter, and they don't even hit with the Ice Blast. So, well, with Ice Blast down, CDEC are just gonna happily force this tower.
I think they could. Especially with their flanking position. They have a good ward in deep here behind. Invokers in Ghost Walk. And with, well, yeah, they should be getting this now. Aggressive will clear out the creep wave, even harassing Razor a little bit.
Yeah, get the Rubik to work here. They get a rocket on the Razor. Not really the hero you want to jump, but they don't need to jump him. Ice
They
Blast.
glyph that.
Maybe they do think about high ground. Not yet, but in the next.
No, that's just going to make top a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, I don't see them defending top either.
It's perhaps a better positioning from them. The trees to the left where X can jump from. Same for Quap. It's a really good spot on the map to place Death Ward from. It is
And it's
possible.
harder for CDEC to get a flank off as well.
Yeah.
That is true. Key thing is going to be finding a way to pop this Aegis. If they can't do that and he's full health when the siege begins, it's very difficult to take that fight. Well, for now, it looks like things will settle down for CDEC. They got their tier 2 mid. Let's see if they're going to go for anything more. About 7k advantage on the gyro over the next hero in this game. You don't see... that's well over half of their advantage. It looked like 11, 12,000 gold lead. 11,
Yeah.
Something like that. That's crazy.
That's the type of graph you would very often see back in the days when you got a fast Battle Fury in AM and no one
Yeah.
contested. That's what we're looking at.
I missed my anti-mage now that you mention it.
You do?
Yeah, I love anti-mage.
Mouse played it in the American qualifier. On Koikva, surprisingly.
Koikva, not Black.
Everyone thought Black was going to play it. Black played Puck.
Yeah, it seems like he is playing more of the initiator types for the team. Well, Sind, it looks like the tier 2's next. They're bringing 3 heroes into the top lane. Taking this very, very slowly.
Yeah, Aegis is going to expire now.
They get their next BKB on Shiki. Again, CDEC are facing, not elimination from TI, but facing a knockdown to the wild cards if they lose this game. So they do not want to take even the slightest risk if it could be avoided.
And what a story it would be if they manage to come back.
The reverse all kill
Reverse all
versus
kill, yeah.
Ehome, especially the way they looked in the first 2 games.
Yeah, they were just getting warmed up.
Now it's evening time. You know, it's gamer o'clock over in China.
And it's actually funny to think about that we gave Ehome a lot of credit compared to CDEC for, you know, their experience and when it's a big pressure situation, how they deal with grand finals and stuff like that. Ehome, being such an experienced squad, have really been caught out by smokes. In this game and in the last one, they actually, last game they almost lost exclusively on 1 or 2 smoke ganks. This game they're at a significant deficit again because of 1 or 2 smoke ganks. And, you know, generally experienced squads in these situations read the map very well. And if they get caught, they either have a really good idea of what they want to do before it happens, or they just don't lose so much. They just get 1 hero picked off by a smoke and disengage. But they went all in both times and got just completely blown apart.
And CDEC again are just looking to take over this Ehome jungle. 4 heroes pushing the bottom side of the map. I see 5 Ehome all near mid, but they're not smoking. They're just trying to stack and safely farm their own jungle, tucked away near where the tier 2 once stood. And as we've been seeing over and over, CDEC are lacking on their smokes. They used 2 back-to-back ones earlier, and hey, they got 9 kills, basically 2 team wipes. It was definitely worth it for them. But it does mean if they want to go for things, they have to do it head-on. Now, honestly, it feels like they might be able to do it head-on, but they'd rather find that easy kill than take any risks like that.
They're close to a Skadi on Gyro. So I think you wait for that big item and an Aegis, and then you go high ground. Yeah, and then Ehome are going to have to... They're going to have to get the Gyro kill almost for free to be able to win that fight. They don't. I believe they don't have any Ghost Scepters on their lineup, so the Flak Cannon is actually going to completely destroy them. Yeah, they have 0 Ghost Scepters, so... If they don't kill Gyro for free and then control him again, his Flak Cannon's going to force them away from the tower 100%.
And the only control, I mean, the only control they have is the call, which is fine if your team is able to stand their ground. But when you're this far behind, they're not going to be able to survive 2 lives like that. Just simply because of the raw gold and experience differential. And I do like the Skadi here, because you go Satanic, you're likely to be Ice Blasted, you're probably not life-stealing. Normally, Satanic's the next item, but this is a very nice adjustment that still gives you a lot of stats here.
And he even got a DD.
Well, if
That's
there were ever
a
go time, this is probably it.
Look at top tier 2. Roshan will be respawning in 2 minutes, so little bad RNG on the wait time for CDEC, but not that much.
Ehome start to move into position. This Gyro not popping his DD yet. Maybe they don't want to go.
He's just going to wait for either a fight to break out or until he reaches the tower.
No, is this their next smoke coming in?
I think they, yep. All right.
Are they going to just use it again? It feels a little risky to do it now, and Roshan might not be up if you use it. I guess you have map control, but then you lose a lot of your playmaking potential for quite some time.
If they time it right and smoke in a moment, they might actually be able to find.
Are we going to see it the 3rd time in a row?
And then
the 4 to 5 hero takedown again.
Well, honestly, Ehome's lineup right now will really struggle to prevent the Gyro from this, at least finding 1 or 2 kills early on in the fight.
I mean, look at the HP pools that most of these heroes have. Lanham sitting at 910 HP. You've got a 777 HP Ancient Apparition. At best, like the Axe and Queen of Pain are sitting around 1,300 to 1,600. They may not die to Flak at him, but with the DD rune, I think they almost die or at least are running for dear life. Do a bit of dewarding here near the bottom side of the map. They're just trying to stay close to the pit, knowing that Roche could respawn any moment. There's your hook. It's a bit of a miss. Not the biggest deal for CDEC, but oh, maybe it is. RTK wants to go in. He's just running forward. He's going to go on the clock, who BKB'd to start this one off. That means no lockdown for Aggressive, who immediately starts going to work in the middle of the fight. CTY standing for now. The static link will expire as he gyrocopter walks away, and now CDEC may look for the re-engage. They still have this double damage. Stolen Queen of Pain ult by Q. He does get caught by the Death Ward from the trees from Lanham. It's an excellent Death Ward. It does a lot of damage, taking 2 heroes down. Aggressive and cheeky, very indecisive, and not actually doing a whole lot. They end up taking down 2. They lose nothing. That was impressive.
I thought that was going to go way worse for Ehome because he static linked the clock instead of waiting for the gyro to commit in. But on the other hand, if he doesn't static link the clock there, he might not get to deal enough damage in the fight. So it's a tough decision for the Razor, but Yang making the right call there. They gain more than 2k gold and a tower, so this is like 3k swing for Ehome.
Oh, another blink call. RotK, is he finding the opportunities here? The Queen of Pain ult coming
he
out.
got clipped.
And they end up just barely bringing down the Axe, the Invoker as well. And that's another kill to be happy with. The gem also hits the deck here, and Q's going to rotate in. So looks like they do hang on to their gem. Oh, actually, no, sorry. They recover the enemy gem, so they've got 2. So blink call came out. Static link, as you mentioned, was going on the clock. He got a decent amount of damage. And, you know, Sin, this gyro had, I believe, a double damage when the fight started, but he barely auto-attacked at all. He spent most of his time just running away. They BKB, then they just run. And it felt like the call was kind of... It felt like they weren't really sure what they wanted to do, and then there was, like, multiple calls being made in the same fight.
I actually think CDEC could have won that fight if gyro committed.
Yeah.
There were so many abilities used. Sonic Wave was down, Ice Blast was down, Call was down.
And he was at
only
like
the Death Ward
2/3 or even 3/4 HP at that point.
So I think he should have manned up there. Of course, it's, once again, high-pressure situation. You need to make the right call in the blink of an eye, and he chooses to back off. I guess the reason he backed was that he saw that clock was so close to death. He survived with like 30 health running out from that. So he's like, okay, it's kind of already a 4 and 5. We've been clipped by a couple of abilities. We might be too weak in numbers.
It's like better to give up a bit of our advantage now than to risk throwing the whole thing away if I die. Especially when he's at 20k net worth and Queen of Pain's at like 13.
Definitely.
So again, it is the safe play, but sometimes it's playing not to lose that can ultimately cause you to lose rather than just taking those gambles and playing to win.
Yeah, they lost like 6,000 gold. I believe 1,800 of that swing is the gem. That does show on the net worth graph,
does it?
right?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not sure.
I believe so because of I think if it's in your inventory accounts at least.
But is that... I'm actually not sure. Because you can't sell it, so I don't know if it has value for the net worth calculation thingy.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, if the gem doesn't count, then it's even more. Because then it's an 1,800 swing higher than what you saw there.
Yeah. I guess either way, still, bottom line is still an excellent fight overall for Ehome. And, you know, one or two, it feels like everything hinges on the initiation in this game. If Axe gets a good jump and they quickly blow somebody up, then Ehome at least are on even footing and maybe even have the edge. And for CDEC, if they get that clean hook in, Gyro's just going to have a field day like we saw bottom and near the river, 2 fights in a row, and it's going to go completely the opposite way.
Did they have the Glimmer Cape in the fight they just took, or did he just get that?
I think
he just got that, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, in this up-and-coming fight, if Quap, or, well, whoever gets jumped... Oh, wait, I don't have time for that.
Here we go. CTY off the bat. Blinks away, but it's only a few feet out. Now the Queen of Pain ult coming through. Aggressive. Starting to run away again, just like he did last fight. He's not even being pursued by anyone, but it seems like it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a 2-for-1. For a hero that's 7k up, he's playing very defensively.
I think this time it was the right call. They had a worse position here, simply. That's another 1,500. If this keeps going on, they
at some point they have to either take a fight or just stop fighting, because they can't keep on just giving up 2-3 kills for uneven trades, and especially not without securing the Aegis.
And one more thing that's happening right now is that the Radiant supports are actually getting a lot of gold. So they were really far behind, and now they're starting to catch up.
They're practically even now.
And if you're looking at the comparison in late game strength, Skywrath is one of the most impactful early game supports and least impactful late game supports. Then you've got the Rubik.
Yeah.
He can make really big plays if there are big steals, but in this game it's very difficult for him to steal something useful. He can try to get Ice Blast, which is very hard. He can't get Death Ward if Witch Doctor toggles heal. Sonic Wave is a big spell that he has managed to steal once or twice. So that one he can't pull off. But apart from that, doesn't really offer that much late game compared to many other supports. On the other side, Witch Doctor Death Ward with Aghanims ultimately at some point, and AA Axe is, I think, he's 2/3 of the way.
Oh. Despite all the back and forth bottom, it hasn't been a decisive enough fight to.
Oh, it's almost done. 3/4.
Yeah, to result in Roche actually going down. So because of that, both teams basically, all right, let's reset, let's resume our positions
fight again
near the pit. And Ehome probably thinking, great, like, can we do that same fight again, like maybe 5 more times, and then we'll go for the Roche?
Yeah, if they do it 5 more times, they're barely leading. If it's the same cold
Yeah, I guess each fight gets less valuable as
Yeah.
far as swinging the graphs around.
This is quite a loss for CDEC. They have lost about 8K on XP. Nah, 7K golden experience over the last, what's that, 6 minutes? 7?
Yeah, something like that.
And Razor seems surprisingly powerful in these fights still. And, I mean, he is a great mid-game hero, but we're now 42 minutes in. This is when Razor often will start to fall off unless if he has either a really sick damage build and a hell of a lot of farm, or if he has Axe Refresher. He has the Axe, which in these fights where the targets spread out, for example, if the Clockwork gets isolated with him in the cogs, he gets burnt by that ultimate, because it always targets the lowest HP enemy, but there's only one. So you can't focus it. If you could focus Razor ult, he would actually be really, really a lot stronger than he is right now.
By the way, there's another Demon Edge on Aggressive. Is this a...
Daedalus.
You think just Daedalus?
Yeah. I think so.
You only crit on the primary target, right? It doesn't splash?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see a Rapier, but technically they should still know they're leading by at least a little bit. So, maybe if he gets Aegis, he just goes for it. His name? No. Okay, never mind. Daedalus is coming.
Generally, the player mentality when it comes to buying Rapier is that you buy it either in a super late game or in full. You're under so much pressure that you have to take a mega risk.
Yeah, if you're like in danger of losing the game,
Yes.
basically.
It's like a Hail Mary play. guess
I
is a
haven't
good
seen a
word.
Rapier gyro in a long time. There was a period where we saw one like every day, sometimes like 2 or 3 a day. That was with the 20-second flat cannon, I think.
Yeah, that was insane.
20-second cooldown, I should say.
Also, if it wasn't attack limited, but you had it on for like 20
Yeah,
seconds.
just constantly.
I was about to say then he would be a first pick, but wait a second, he is. Oh,
Oh, Shiki, BKB. There's a Blink Call. It's an air ball by RTK. This is maybe the fight that CDEC are waiting for. Is just a slight missed initiation. Immediately, ZYF's going to go, and he steals a good amount of aggressive damage, and it looks like everyone wants to retreat. Nope. Now they want to go in. And CTY gets cold snapped a little bit. Continue to run away. There's the Rubik lift. There's the initiation. RTK gets definitely blasted back out of the fight. Chasing forward. There's the Death Ward. Lanham finding decent damage. 2 heroes down again. Only for the Axe once more. And they may find an additional kill as XZ gets run down. They also clean up Garter. This could be 4, even 5
Oh,
dead.
this cast.
Up to the gyro here. Can Aggressive get it done by himself? He's been waiting for one good fight. No, he goes down. It's a team wipe. CTY with the Ultra. And CDEC continue to spiral downwards.
wow.
That one was a whopper. That was the 5K gold swing they've been trying to avoid. But they hesitated 2 fights in a row, tried to cut their losses. This time, again, kind of hesitant in how they approached the fight. And again, a magnificent Death Ward. This was after a whiffed Berserker's Call initiation, a BKB coming out from this Razor that didn't do a whole lot, and they still just dominate the fight.
Did you notice the damage done graph for that fight, for the Radiant?
Didn't get
RTK had 0, I think. He just soaked up damage. And they still won the fight.
He also baited out some BKBs
Yeah,
as well.
of course. I mean, it's not a useless initiation as long as there's a response that he gets out of it. But if you imagine that fight where that call hits, they immediately would have killed the Skywrath, right? So I think we're going to see it from the start here. Oh no, that's the second iteration of it.
Yeah, that they throw a lot of stuff at ROTK, and that's basically all right. We're going all the way.
Yeah. So he sees Invoker, I think, here with his gem.
And
Oh,
he
he BKBs. He doesn't want to go for that guy. He wants to blink, force the sky. He misses in the middle, and now he gets targeted really hard. Will BKB?
But they double
by time.
I mean, the gyro BKB'd a little early. It felt like here.
Both Invoker and Gyro's BKBs are down now. They traded for Razor and Axe.
But CDEC they just seem indecisive. Like they BKB, then they run away, and then they go back in when the BKBs are down. It seems like a very awkward time to engage. And again, Lanham has just been a hero. The cast bouncing perfectly, Death Ward going crazy, and at this point, fight's basically lost. They're just routed. They can't really engage anymore. They're just.
And then Gyro comes back.
again.
He was a safe. Oh, here we go. That's Rubik first.
Another pick off. They really need to start winning fights here. Hookshot comes forward on the YJ. Over the top goes the Ice Blast. BKB from the gyro. This might be a decent one. Finally, no aggressive. He's X'd up the Deathward again. They can't lose him anymore. He's dead for 80. Ehome might just have done it with this. XZ. Oh, the Scream almost found him. Not quite. They get the Battle Hunger on Cheeky. Ugh. Sin. This is literally an implosion at this point. CDEC have lost 4 major engagements back-to-back over like 20 minutes now.
Right after Ehome lost 2 in a row. That's generally how we define throw. It sounds like throw to me.
I feel like it's less like just throw implies like a level of stupidity, I feel like, or just like oh,
that's
it's
true.
boneheaded move.
Yeah.
And this to me is just like they just don't have a clear call in the fight. Some want to go in, some want to back off. They BKB, then they run, then they engage when the BKBs are down. It is painful to watch.
He is still 5k ahead on gyro.
Does it matter anymore? I feel like they have tools for him at this point. They have Blink Call. We didn't even talk about a Hex. If you only have one scary hero, Hex is also a fantastic way to deal with them. And Razor matches up very well against in these situations. Even though he's not that farm. I mean, he's reasonably farm, but just static link the gyro, and the natural reaction is you run, but then your only scary hero in the fight is running. And maybe that's the real issue.
And they can't stop him from linking.
Yeah.
They don't have any... I don't think they have a... Do they have a single Force Staff for the gyro? They have one. One on Skywrath.
Who's often dying off the bat.
Yeah, that needs to happen. He needs to get linked, Force Staffed out, and then re-engage. They can't let him tank the link, and he has to be able to commit to the fight. He's the biggest part of their net worth.
Well, do you think he wants a Rapier now? If you could just right now, if you're the gyro, trade the data list for Rapier, would you do it?
Not yet, I think.
Okay. What does CDEC need to do to turn a fight besides breaking the link with a Force Staff? They just have to get a better initiation. Is that the issue?
Yes, they need to open with Rubik.
All right.
If they get one pick off from the start, I've seen this movie before.
CDEC, they found their miracle in the Radiant Jungle twice this game. Will this third time be the charm? They have a hook shot ready to go. Have they gotten eyes on anyone? RTK is hanging around the tree line. He's going to break the smoke, and now everything breaks out in a very hectic fashion. Hook shot comes through, will isolate Lanham. That means no big death ward, but 4 staffs away. The clockwork negated for now. The static link does go into aggressive, who this time is just running directly in, but now he gets Hex. Quappled, he's pushed around a bit, but they try to dug him. The death ward was waiting for him. Lanham again! This gyro is not even a carry, it feels like, just constantly dealt with. And CDEC have lost yet another 5 fights in a row, 4 heroes dead once more. I think they've lost it since. As far as the momentum, as far as their morale, they've got to be broken by this point.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they realized how far ahead they were too. If they had a good read on the game, as far as they're starting to
the one thing that is hurting them is they don't have that Axe hero. They have Clock, and there's multiple Force Staffs. And we are seeing, like, Clock has been a high priority offlaner this tournament, but at this point, he just falls off. Unless you have other heroes to follow up the hook, which I guess they just don't really have. And all of a sudden, Ehome, they go down the bottom lane. This is going to be one of the most heartbreaking ways to lose a qualifier if it's how it ends. Ehome 2-0'd them, but CDEC looked stronger in the group stage. And then they come in here today, and it seemed like they were just outclassed. Then they showed that they weren't in Game 3, and now CDEC are going to be really up against it the remainder of this game, and then from there, even if they win the rest of the tournament. But Tier 3 will fall mid. Ehome are going to make sure that they don't throw anything away. There's a deep TP forward from the Clock. He fires a rocket, but really can't do much with this.
And interesting to notice that the Witch Doctor we were talking about after the Glimmer Cape will probably see the Axe come out. He went for another Force Staff, just identifying that Clockwork is the thing they will have to deal with, just resetting and re-going all the time. So with these triple Force Staffs they have, Clockwork was really... His impact was reduced a hell of a lot in the last few engages. And you know what? He almost has the Axe now anyway on the Witch Doctor. He's got 3,500 gold. And the worst thing is, they haven't even needed it. Like, imagine when he gets that, if he can keep finding these positions for the Death Ward. Oh, he gets Blink even. All right.
It's actually been out of control how good Lanham's deathports have been this. I mean, this series has been the story of Lanham. The Shaker, I think, was probably the most impressive game overall out of any player in this qualifier. And the Death Ward has been magnificent this game. And, of course, the other games he's been solid. Even in Game 3 where they lost, he set them up for success early on with his roaming. It's not over yet, but Ehome, they're close. They just need, like, one more good fight with an Aegis. If CDEC lose more than 1 or 2 heroes, they're getting definitely 2 racks, or 2 lanes of racks down, possibly more. But it is still the additional Roshan dance that may decide this whole thing. By the way, I don't think we mentioned it. There's a refresher on Queen of Pain now and 2,400 gold. That's double Hex, double BKB, double Quapple. Don't forget about the double Shadow Strike that you pointed out yesterday. Don't sleep on that, man.
It's really good.
Yeah.
DD Rune top, even if they find that. It's not that good for their lineup, but Quap actually has pretty decent damage at this point. We'll get another 169 from that rune.
Ehome pressing in again. Hex finally comes out on the Invoker. At the same time, there's just not one hero that you need to kill. There's multiple. And that's where the Hex just feels so much scarier on Ehome, and even before the refresher. But they'll definitely take what they can get. Maybe they can disrupt the chain of initiation here. Maybe they can turn this one around. Aggressive is dangerously close to the cliff. That marks the entryway to the Dire base. If they get a big Blink Call initiation, could end the game right here. They get a ward down. So they know where the heroes are lurking. And now Razor's going to march in. Axe is just behind him. It's obvious these heroes are right nearby, but they don't know exactly where it is. And they're going to take the initiation opportunity to go onto the Razor. And now the counter comes. Axe, Blink calling his way forward. Queen of Pain with the quick double, well, actually single ulti. The double ulti goes the other way, trying to finish off Aggressive, and he's out of the game, at least for now. He buys back instantly. The 2 Queen of Pain ults are down, but this Razor is taking forever to bring down, and while that's happening, Q's nearly finished off. RotK wants to go for the dug again. The Death Ward, Lanham, you hero! He does it once more. At the same time, they may have to run. They've used the Queen of Pain refresher. With the aggressive buyback, he at least will scare them away. He's committing fairly heavily to this. If anyone on Ehome can try and counter-initiate, this could go poorly for him. He doesn't have BKB anymore, and he's still chasing this one onto Lanham, who just glimmers and then retreats a bit further. He's going to flack out the wave. I think Ehome are going to look to go on this. They're starting to bring in their other heroes. Maledict came out into aggressive. Oh, CTY has Hex. This could be the dieback that ends the game. Aggressive, he played so well, but that's how it ends. GG. Ehome, they do it. And they will go to the International as the Chinese qualified team, Sind. They were the favorites coming into the qualifier. They looked a little shaky in the group stage, but they showed that they're deserving here.
Yeah, they kind of showed that they can deal with multiple situations in this grand final. They can be on the stomping side, they can win close games, they can recover from a loss, and they can make a full comeback against a fairly evenly matched team. Obviously, Ehome were the stronger team, at least today. I think earlier in the group stage, we thought CDEC were, at some point, maybe the favorites because Ehome weren't looking too hot in the groups, but they found their style, and they managed to do it. So, did anyone not have Ehome as their prediction for the winner of this qualifier?
Not us over here.
All right.
Yep.
I had HGT.
Oh,
I lost.
Oh,
I had HTT in my top 4. So
You're out of touch.
Most people did.
No, they look good coming
Yeah,
down.
I had
they
the
did.
third, I think.
They did.
They were definitely the biggest flop of the qualifier, I would
Yes.
say, as far as expectations versus actual performance. But
Yeah.
well, Ehome qualify. They will be in the main event. CDEC are in the wild card. It's way too early to say if they're going to qualify. A lot of it depends on who else is competing. But, I mean, I think what they showed today is, first of all, they can hang with really strong teams, but also they can collapse under pressure. And that's going to be their biggest challenge moving forward towards the main event.
They still did look impressive. Like the fact that they had such a close series against Ehome. Game 1 was the 75-minute game. Game 3, they managed to win. Game 4, I felt like was in their hands and they should have come out with. But to me, CDEC will go into that wild card as one of the favorites. As you say, too soon to say completely because you don't know who they're going to be up against. But looking at which teams could potentially be in the second slot, I think maybe Europe will have a tough contender, but I would favor them over whoever gets second in America or SEA.
Well, guys,
Sounds about right.
any additional words you want to add about either of these teams? Any players? I mean, for me, I think Lanham was the MVP of this entire series, if not the qualifier. This guy's been a rock for a long time. I mean, you even go back to Rattlesnake when he played in one series. I recall him playing carry Storm, or no, solo mid Storm, jungle Enchantress. I think he played like an off-lane Clockwork. It was in the, I think it was in their play-in game when versus, God, who did they play?
Quantic.
Yeah. I mean, back then he had to do a lot of heavy lifting. Now he's got slightly, I guess, stronger and more stable teammates, but he just doesn't stop. Remember, he was going to retire, and now, well, okay, I'm going to just continue to show what I can do.
I'm glad he didn't retire. He's such a great player. He did so much for this team. And
how many monitors do you think he broke today?
Hopefully not too many.
Okay. Well, guys, any final words? We've wrapped up our first qualifier here.
I think the other player to mention is RotK. Yeah, he had some shaky games, but he's the captain, the drafter, the leader of this team, and you can't take that. Sometimes comes at the cost of making an individual mistake here or there. To me, RotK, his drafts has been solid. It never felt like Ehome during any of these games to me were outdrafted. I think he's one of those captains who Ehome will feel confident going into TI that they can actually perform on a decent level where they could be a top 8 contender.
Yeah, I feel like you can never really count RotK out. And I feel like the drafts that he showed here as well had a lot of nuance, and there was a lot of opportunities to take the draft in a different direction. And I mean, that's something that we were talking about over the course of the entire qualifier, that the teams that were doing a little bit weaker were the ones that were a bit more predictable and only playing the set meta, and the teams and the captains that were doing much better were showing us different things, bringing in new heroes when they saw the best opportunity for them. And I think RotK showed that here as well.
I mean, anyone who's not afraid to fifth pick Pugna and run him off lane is a pretty creative drafter in my book. RotK loves his Pugna. So, all right. Well, with that said, guys, this does wrap up the China qualifier. Congratulations to Team Ehome. They will be one of the many teams representing China at the International 2015. And as for CDEC, they will have a shot in the wild card. One team from each region goes there, and out of those, the top 2 will qualify for the main event. So with that, thank you for joining us for the Chinese coverage. Myself, Sind, will be moving on to Cast Europe. I believe Basekip and Gods will be heading over to SEA in the coming days. So if you'd like to hear more from us, then you can check those out. But for now, from all the crew here, we're signing off. Behind DDC, they want CTY to go first. They are going to see the Brood in just a moment. They blink forward onto him. They get the Hex off from CTY. Follow-up stuns there. Then the Fissure, committing heavily with Lanham. He did not find the Echo, but he quickly 4 steps away. There's the Queen of Pain ult. They have a Refresher. Secondary ult comes through. It's not enough to get the kills. Now the Gyro Refresher comes out. Another BKB. He just keeps on going. Flak Cannon spraying everywhere. Q forced back. Echo Slam was used by Lanham in the midst of this, and they bring down 3, make it 4. Only surviving is the Draggy Knight as he blinks away. Fashion. Ehome pressing in. There's the search forward from Garter. He gets off the back. It's a really nice one. CDEC starting to clean up. Pugna down. Rubik down, but the cores are surviving a bit longer. What an echo! It's the Lamp Shaker again! 3 heroes and the DK as well. It's a team wipe! Dragon Knight buys back, but nobody else can do anything. Darkseer will try. Very scary.
That is true.
There's actually also Overgrowth. With their AoE, CDEC have to be careful not to get caught by this thing. And, oh, DDC, he's too quick. He blinks out, and now they're walking up on a high ground against Hookshot, against Call Down, against the tree. This is terrible for CDEC. Everybody caught within, or is it? Actually staying alive for now. All of a sudden, a lot of lag. 2 heroes that they didn't get off their Bruce split. Chase onto Shiki. He'll fall as well. That's 3. He's just going to go right now. Finds Q, and see you later, Rubik. No buyback available. Shiki TP's in, but he gets hexed instantly. Trapped now with the call down coming through the Requiem. He does get off the BKB still. He's just getting auto attack down. Oh, CTY finally will get it off. Bit of lag again, and they're just going to right click him down. I think that was the Solar Crest.
Oh, he got the
like an
shuffle.
Alexi! He almost got the kill. He gets nothing. They finally got the clock, but that was it.
Most games, this is such a clear lead that they have a really good shot at winning.
They try to engage on Gyro, but they do whiff on the initiation a bit. Ice Blast comes out. Zeusol comes out. They pop their pipe, and it's a BKB for a BKB, but with quite a few ults used. Not so many on the side of CDEC, which is where they want to go in. They try to get off the Chains initiation ball. They catch the Ember. Little drive-by attempted. Aggressive is going to be over-aggressive again. Still, maybe the team can turn this. Very nice stun combination with the Vacuum, able to make it a 2-for-1.
Still Berserker's Call. There's still Death Ward. There's still Sonic Wave. And, of course, there's still Static Link, where if Razor can get in on
We're
Gyro...
about to have a fight. Here we go. Hulk onto DDC. Finds him immediately. That means Ice Blast comes out. It actually, I think, hit 1 hero there, but it's not looking like it's good enough. Call down coming through. They get a great initiation, and now they look to turn this into a convincing victory. RTK run down. TP out attempted. Is there a stun? You bet. Oh, no, actually, they don't have it in time, but they do manage to get the 4th hero. Lone Survivor, the Razor. Ehome getting